really one nation under God? People every day recite the pledge at home, at work, at school, and many other events. And throughout the years, major controversy has arose about the pledge. Francis Vanelli and James Upham created the pledge in 1892, and the last change was made by President Dwight D. Eisenhower by adding the two words, under God. He said that the words under God provided an establishment for this country and showed our country's patriotism and our dependence upon God. Over the years, the United States has become more diverse in its customs, values, and beliefs. Talis Moyer says the origin of the controversial Pledge of Allegiance is no exception, yet the inclusion of the phrase, one nation under God, is turning a heated debate. Because of the major diversity, many people have questioned whether or not the two words under God should be in the American Pledge of Allegiance. The pledge is something that expresses the patriotism and that people have towards the United States. And one nation under God is a very important factor in expressing that patriotism. One of the reasons people believe that the two words should be in the pledge is because our country is held together by religious principles. Moyer says, principles derived from the Holy Bible are embedded in the history of the laws of this land. Thou shalt not steal, kill, commit adultery, lie, and the list goes on and on. If we took the words out of the pledge, we would have nothing to base our history and what we're going through now off of. It would also be a slap in the face to the Founding Fathers to take something out of the pledge that they came up with. Derek Davis talks about how the pledge is not the only American symbol with God in it. The American motto, which is "In God We Trust," has God in it. And also, that is stated on money. And then, in the Declaration of Independence, it has 4 different references to God. And if we took the words under God out of the pledge, we would also have to take the word God out of every other thing that has God in it in America. Civil religion has its downside, but who can argue? It does not provide who can argue that it does not provide the part of social glue that holds America's system together? If we choose to take the words out of the pledge, then every other thing would have to be taken out of there. The two words give the country foundation, and without foundation, the country would have nothing to base its laws and values off of. And by having the words "one nation under God" in the pledge, it states that the United States has something to stand firm on. By no means are the words "one nation under God" trying to force you to believe in God or to force you upon religion or discriminate against other religions. It was simply put there as an expression of America's religious heritage rather than an unconstitutional establishment of religion. If the words were removed from the pledge, the part of the history of the United States would be missing. Those words were put in the pledge not to discriminate, but give an explanation of America's values and what they stand for. The pledge is something that expresses patriotism, and the one nation under God is a very good factor. On the other hand, people believe that under God should be taken out of the pledge because if it can say something about one religion, it has to say something about every other religion also. People say it pushes religion upon somebody. And Charles Rousseau states the words "under God" in the Pledge of Allegiance is violating the First Amendment's prohibition of government establishment of religion. The First Amendment in the Constitution gives people freedom of religion. And by having those two words in the American pledge violates the First Amendment of the Constitution, people believe. Michael Nudo, an attorney in Nudo v. U.S. Congress, says, if the majority of the government wants to implement a religious belief, too bad. They can't do it. The Constitution does not allow you to. The government is not allowed to tell people what they want to believe in, what God they want to believe in, or anything that deals with religious views. The pledge needs to respect those who have no belief, a belief in another God, or a belief in somebody of a higher power. Morrow tells us, as the lower court suggested, you would have to, if you would object the words under Zeus, under God, then you should also have problems with the words under God. If the pledge can say one nation under God, then it should also have something about every other religious view also. In conclusion, the argument over whether or not the words one nation under God should be taken out of the pledge will be never ending. Because if the government decides to take it out, then those who believe it should be in there will be upset. But vice versa. If they don't decide to do anything, then those who believe it should be taken out will continue to be upset. Rutherford and Scarf states, thus while including under God may represent a burden to atheists, excluding under God would show a burden to religious believers. In the end, nobody's going to fully agree on whether or not it should or should not be taken out, but the government does have to do something. And until the government does find that middle ground, there will continue to be controversy over whether or not the words one nation under God should be in the American pledge.